Switch Radio Breakfast, Friday morning. Yes, we've reached that time again. Super Switch, round two. After the success of our opening affair last Friday morning, we're on YouTube right now. We urge you to click like and subscribe our YouTube channel. I'm not entirely sure how it works. It's all some magical piece of voodoo. But what isn't voodoo is the scores that we're going to try and predict for our teams. Very simple game. We look at the big games over the weekend for the teams in the West Midlands, and if we get a score absolutely right, we get 3 points. If we get the outcome right but not the correct score, it's 1 point. Nothing if we get it completely wrong. And, somebody had a stellar week after the first round of fixtures with 7 points from a possible 12, and leading the early table, it is Kim Smith. Good morning, Kim.
Hi, chaps. Yes,
Okay.
and it was very nearly 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, all right, very nearly 10. Yes, if my if my aunt had been a man, she'd be my uncle, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If buts and maybes, we'll move on from there. So it's an early lead for Kim Smith with 7 points, ahead of the reigning champion from the past 2 seasons, the star and host of the Crazy Shadow Talks YouTube football channel, and a winner of 3 points last week after getting his beloved West Bromwich Albion score absolutely right. It's Jonathan Wimbush. Morning, John.
Good morning, Ben. Also a little bit of Carabao Cup action for me this week with these two beautiful people.
We'll get to that.
Mixed fortunes.
We'll get to that.
It's got to be said.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
If in case I forget later, are you agenting at Molyneux tomorrow? Yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. A bit of a side hustle going on with Jonathan Wimbush last season. Looks like it's going to continue this season. And with us this morning, he provided WhatsApp voice notes last week, so he's actually making his debut in person on Super Switch. It is fellow Aston Villa fan of mine, Rob Richards. Rob, good morning.
Hiya, you're right. Yes,
yeah, a bit more enthusiasm than that, Rob. Yeah, we're trying to entertain people here. Yeah.
Hello.
There we go.
Good morning.
That's what we're looking for.
I'm in the doldrums about poor 0 points for me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I got 0 as well, and I wasn't going to dwell on it. But you know what? I was talking about ifs and buts. I was 3 goals away from getting 9 points last week.
Yeah.
That's how tight the margins are, and they can be in this game. There's something I do want to just pick up with you, Rob. Now that you're here. I'm prepared to let last week slide in terms of non-participation, because it was your first one. But generally, birthdays are not an excuse. Okay, so you can call that a strike. Okay,
I'm sorry. It was a last-minute birthday.
A last-minute birthday. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure that's possible.
I heard that's an excuse that I can use.
Yeah, I'm not sure that a last-minute birthday is possible. Anyway, should we get started? Now that we've got all the merriment out of the way, the Premier League is back this weekend, and we're starting with a lunchtime affair at Villa Park. It's Aston Villa taking on Newcastle United, 2 teams that are going to be, so the experts say, competing for a place in next season's Champions League. Newcastle are already there, having finished in the top 5 last season. Villa, having been robbed at Old Trafford, we're never going to let that go, are going to have to start again. But the breaking news in the last 24 hours, Rob, I'll come to you with this as a Villa fan. Looks like Jacob Ramsey's on his way to our opponents.
Yes. Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? For around, was it about 38 million, 40 million? I think it's very unlikely that the deal will be done and he'll play any part of that game, as transfers now usually take about a week really to complete. I'm okay with it. Really, I think it.
I'm not.
I'm not mad about him going to Newcastle of all teams, but I think he seems to me as he's been a little bit injury prone the last couple of seasons, and then can't really hold a place down, a little bit inconsistent.
Well, maybe, but there's a couple of factors here, and I'll bring in Jonathan Wimbush with this in just a moment. One, I don't like losing our players to teams that we're going to be competing against in and around the league table. I get that it's pure profit because he's an academy boy. So it's money that can be reinvested without alerting the PSR vultures. So that makes sense. I kind of get that. But Jonathan Wimbush, we were at the Villa friendly last week against Roma. He was very, very good.
He was absolutely brilliant. Got himself a goal in the 4-0 victory against Roma. We did mention that Roma don't start till next week. but that's no excuse. But yeah, I'm just wondering if this has something to do with the Isak deal from Newcastle to Liverpool as well, because that's been circulating as well. So is Ramsey going to be a replacement for Isak if he goes to Liverpool?
Well, if he is, Eddie Howe is a clown because he'll be selling a striker for a midfielder.
Yeah.
But there we go. Right, let's get the predictions up and running. Rob, it's our team, but you can have first dibs on this. I know it's generally a good record at Villa Park against Newcastle, but how do you think it's going to go tomorrow afternoon?
Well, I've heard that it's probably going to be a 5-1 to either team. But I will stick my neck out, and I'm going to say Villa 3, Newcastle 0. I'm putting it straight out there.
Okay, 3-0 Villa.
I'm going to say we've got Watkins. We've seen Watkins, Marlon, Buendia. They're looking very sharp in pre-season, and no Isak obviously for Newcastle. So a lot of the threat up front's gone for them. But also as well, first test for Bijot, our new backup goalkeeper.
Yes,
obviously Martinez after that red card from the theft at Old Trafford. Last season. So he looks like a solid keeper, but yeah, I'll go Villa 3, Newcastle 0.
3-0 Villa. Kim Smith, top of the table.
Oh, I think I'm going to go for 2-1 Villa.
2-1 Villa sounds good to me. Jonathan Wimbush?
This sounds difficult. The only reference I've got for Villa is that Roma game, and Newcastle are strong. Yep, top half for both clubs, I believe. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2, starting with a point for Villa. I'm going to agree with Kim Smith. I'm going to back my boys in the first game of the season. Generally a good record against Newcastle, and I think Villa are going to come away with a 2-1 victory. I think the more firepower that Villa have will be the key factor on the day. We're moving into the Championship. Same time kick-off at the Racecourse Ground. The new boys in the Championship making their Championship debut at home. They played there in midweek in the League Cup against Championship opposition, but it is Wrexham against West Bromwich Albion. Jonathan Wimbush, I mean, first of all, we've got to talk about how you're feeling and well-being, and what are you okay, John? Are you okay? Not anything we need to worry about here.
Do we have to talk about Tuesday?
Yeah. If I say the name Jed Steer, does that trigger you at all?
Oh yeah, with a passion. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing on Tuesday night, losing to Derby on penalties. Could have been a potential trip to Turf Moor, given the draw has been done for round 2. But we started off well with a 1-0 victory against Blackburn, and we'll get to Blackburn a little bit later on. But speaking of transfers out of clubs, Torbjorn Hegem has left, and he's joining. Who is it? He's joining. Completely forgot. Bologna, that's it.
I'm so glad that West Bromwich Albion fan with his own channel is fully on the ball with what's happening with the players coming in and out of his club. Rob Richards, excuse me, thank you, my show. Rob Richards, you were at the Hawthorns with Jonathan Wimbush on Tuesday, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a great laugh. I had a great time.
Did you know that actually the two of you are now counted in the attendance just to bump it up by 2?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's an official attendance of 36 now from what I saw on the television on Tuesday night. There had to be more Derby fans there than West Brom fans on Tuesday. So generally, people don't seem to be bothered by West Brom going out of the Carabao Cup in the first round. But it's league action today. Now, John, the pattern that I'm getting from the first 2 games that I've seen, obviously last week winning against Blackburn, it's the way Albion are finishing games at the start of the season is the thing that's noticeable for me. I mean, very good in the first half against Blackburn. Isaac Price, terrific, took his goal really well. But the longer it went on, Blackburn were coming more and more into it, and West Brom were holding on at the end. And then Derby, they couldn't hold on. Derby got that goal, and it went straight to penalties. That's something that Ryan Mason probably needs to look at.
Yeah, that and the fact that we need to take the chances that are given to us, because in both games, West Brom could have easily been 2, maybe 3-0 up at half time in both games. And yeah, we were lucky against Blackburn that they couldn't finish their chances. But yeah, last kick of the game with Derby, and yeah, the rest is history, and Derby move on. I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic from Tuesday, because Isaac Price, as you said, and Ona Hegabo are proving to be a great partnership in the link-ups. So I think they'll both get a goal each against Wrexham. I still think Wrexham are going to score, so I'm going to go for the classic 2-1 Albion.
2-1 Albion. I'm not gonna talk about Wrexham because I don't care. I'm not interested. In this whole, we've already said what side my bread's butter when it comes to football support, but I think the coverage that they got compared to what Blues got last season, I thought was scandalous. And yeah. Blues won that division handsomely, and I think, well, no, this little town in Wales, which is about the size of Five Ways Island in Birmingham, that's so what? Birmingham City romped it to the. Stephen Higgs would call me racist if he was here, but there we go. Yeah, well, yeah, but then again, I would say that Wrexham probably counts more as Chester anyway. But there we go. So 2-2, Jonathan Wimbush is going. Kim Smith, West Brom at Wrexham.
I thought John said 2-1 to West Brom.
Did you? Oh, I gave Wrexham a goal. Sorry. Go on.
I think, to be honest, I'm going to agree with Wrexham. They had a bit of a sort of rude awakening last week with Southampton turning them over at the last minute, and I wonder if West Brom will actually do the same to them.
Okay.
On Saturday.
So you're going 2-1 as well?
Yeah.
2-1. Okay, Rob Richards?
Well, I know we're only 2 competitive games into the season, but Wrexham, they're starting to remind me of... remember when Luton were in the Premier League?
Yeah.
They're awful, but they made every game really, really hard, and you had to fight. They would lose in the end. But they remind me of that. So I think West Brom will come out in the end. They're going to have more chances than Wrexham. It's going to be West Brom winning 3-2.
3-2 West Brom. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think Albion on the road are going to be that kind of team. They'll win more games at home than they did last season, but I think they'll get more draws on the road, and I think this will be a 1-1 draw. Switch Radio Breakfast here on this Friday morning. We're on our YouTube channel right now. There's a little thing pinging, telling you to click like and subscribe. We're still on the radio as well, on the smart speaker and tablet, switchradio.co.uk. All of that, we're unavoidable. And this is part 2 of Super Switch, looking into the Championship, looking at the 3 o'clock games now. It is Birmingham City travelling to Blackburn Rovers. And Kim, I've got to be honest, the documentary, I still haven't watched it, so
don't worry about it.
It's all right. I don't care. But
there's a lot of Tom Brady.
whatever. Anyway, but put it this way: Wes Edens could buy Tom Brady himself. So let's just put that into some kind of perspective. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Blues are going to Blackburn. Obviously, we had Blackburn on Super Switch last week, having gone to the Hawthorns. I tell you, Kim, what I like about Blues from what I've seen in the first 2 games, having watched them in the League Cup and the opening game against Ipswich, when they come up against any opposition, and this is how well drilled they are by Chris Davis, if there's any deficiency in the technique of the opposition, like a poor first touch or a misplaced pass, Blues are just on it like a flash, and they snap at them, and they're in their face and they're aggressive, not over the top. There's nothing to be saying that they're OTT and they're dangerous. No, they're just on it, and they're just in the faces, and that's what you have to be in the EFL, because the players aren't going to be as technically sound as players in the Premier League. So Blues are like, okay, why don't we just get after them? And they did that against Ipswich, and they did it against Sheffield United. And that's I've been very impressed with that so far.
Excellent. Right. Well, Blackburn historically have always been a bit of a bogey team from us, and we've had some horrible results at Ewood Park, but I think they're going to go into this buoyed up by Wednesday night, and I think I'm going to go for a Blues 1-0.
Blues 1-0. Be interesting to see what they're like on the road. That is a new
Yes.
test for the Championship for sure. Rob Richards?
Well, I'll tell you what I do like myself about Blues.
Is
Anyway,
that a particular pause you put in there? Yeah.
Yes.
We just
yes.
weren't checking that your line had gone down or
Just
anything like that.
no, no. I just try to cram it all in that space there.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I think it's a contrast of seasons so far. For Blackburn have started really poorly, and I think Blues, to be fair to them, have started really well. 2 good results for them, and it's going to be a huge contrast between those two teams in that sense. So Blues to win this one 2-0.
2-0 Blues. I should just warn you, Mr. Richards, that in order to attend football matches in the press box, you have to be, as we all know here, an accredited licensed reporter. And that license can be revoked if you demonstrate that you can't show objectivity and impartiality. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah. How are you getting on with that, Ben?
I'm nothing but professional. Thank you. Thank you very much. What you said? You said 2-0 Blues.
2-0 Blues. Yeah,
2-0
I think
Blues.
that brought it round for Kim.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going for a highly entertaining Desmond. I'm going for a 2-2 with this one. Of course, Valerian Ismail, former manager of West Brom, they finished the game strongly at the Hawthorns last week, and as Kim says, historically a bogey team for Blues. So I think there's going to be goals on both sides for a 2-2 draw. And finally, a game which you can follow with our award-winning Switchboard team here on Switch Radio in the National League. Solihull Moors travelling down to Gander Green Lanes, Sutton United, back in the National League after a couple of seasons in League Two, relegated last season, of course, and it was a topsy-turvy affair for the Moors last week. They go down to 10 men after just 6 minutes. They go 1-0 up, then they go 2-1 down, and they manage to come back and get a 2-2 draw. So it's in the melting pot, this one, at Sutton. So I will come to Rob Richards first of all.
Well, straight up, I'm going to give it a 1-1. It's been a while since either side kept a clean sheet. Like you just said, Sutton as well. They should have won their last game against York. Really, they got unlucky and should have really won that one. And yeah, Solihull, they played 85 minutes with 10 men, and they were maybe unlucky to get a draw potentially. So both draws, but so I'm going to have another draw. Yeah, 1-1.
Another draw, 1-1. Jonathan Wimbush?
Yeah, I agree with Rob. 1-1 draw. I think these are going to be the draw specialists of the league because they both drew their first game. Both 2-2, by the way, because Sutton drew 2-2 with York City. So, yeah, I agree with Rob. And I also agree with Rob for Blues 2-0.
Okay. Did I not ask you?
You did not.
Okay.
But that's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll have to amend the graphics later. That's good. Okay. Yes, my bad. Sorry for being just automatically forgetful about something to do with Birmingham City. It's just the way it kind of works.
Yeah.
Rob, you can vouch for that, can't you? They enter your brain, and then they leave very quickly. It's like
I can't even remember. I don't know who we're talking about.
Like a goldfish
really.
Kind of scenario. So you'd assume that Sutton would be a strong team in the National League this season, having coming down from the Football League, and I hope I'm wrong. But I'm sorry, Moors fans. You'll be able to follow it on Switch Radio, but I think Sutton are going to win this by 2-1. So there we are, as far as our predictions are concerned. Hopefully your predictions will be equally as good as ours.
Kim's waving.
Is that the cat?
You did it again.
Is that the cat?
No, it's not the cat. But I haven't given my score prediction yet.
Oh, have I not? Oh, I'm having a nightmare here.
I think I'll go for Sutton for a 1-0.
Thank you. Wow. And I'm going for a lie down. And it's been a long week. It's been a long week on the show. I've had to play interviews with singers and people who are appearing in a Buddy Holly show. I've had Kim Smith herself on the show this week, talking about BHBN. By the way, that appeal is still ongoing. Check it all out about the future of BHBN Radio. It's a big deal. And I had a cracking chat yesterday with a guy from Northern Ireland, Oren Murphy, who's a singer-songwriter, and he's brilliant. And I had a chat with him. So I am absolutely knackered right now, and that's the way it is. So if I'm getting kind of forgetful, that's where we're at. So I'm going to watch. Are you going to Villa tomorrow, Rob? By the way.
No, not me.
No, somebody else got that one, didn't they? See, that's the thing. Yeah, they're watching you for your impartiality, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kim struck early. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it on TV as well. And Kim, a weekend off from the football, or you're travelling up north? Or?
No, I did think about it, but it is a bit of a schlep. It's sort of 2.5 hours each way, so. No. I will be keeping an eye on what's going on, though.
And as we were saying, Jonathan Wimbush moonlighting at Molineux to watch Wolves against Manchester City. So that will be that. It's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed it. We'll do it all again next Friday morning for Rob Richards, Kim Smith, Jonathan Wimbush. I'm Ben Ellis. We'll see you next week on Super Switch.